feel like this has been my little secret, right? And I'll give it to you guys. It's not really no secret, but it's a strategy that works, right? I call it the 4-bar method. Everybody probably knows about it, and even if you don't know how to do it, this is what you're doing.
Welcome, you and all, to another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast, where we talk about, say it with me, you know how it goes, Latino, everything. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you to all the new subscribers. We appreciate you very much. We reached a huge milestone. If you are on YouTube, we have 1,000 subscribers and growing. All thanks to you very much. Make sure you go and subscribe today. Big shout out going out to WSB World System Builders for providing this beautiful place. Today is an amazing episode. Why? Because I know this man is determined Latino, because he came from a long way. He is an entrepreneur, talented individual, recording artist, music blogger, review. He does also, his YouTube channel does different tricks and reviews and a lot more. Very, very driven individual, because he came all the way from Arizona here. El Venezolano, a.k.a. Alexsoy.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you. Doing great. How are you?
It's my pleasure for you to be here because,
thank you.
You came a long way.
Yes.
You came a long way you reach out to the podcast, and whether I found you or you found me, either way, we're here, and it's truly appreciated, and it shows how much you want this, because you came from a long way and to push your music.
Yes. No, I landed last night, but I appreciate you guys for giving me the opportunity. Like we were just saying, one thing about it is that I'm going to show up. You know, we have to show up for ourselves. We have to show up for our dreams. And honestly, any opportunity is a blessing. So really, thank you.
All right. Well, we'll both thank each other. And it's a pleasure for you to be here.
Yeah, yes,
absolutely. I'm grateful you're here. And we can just do the episode about thank you, and go back and forth.
Yes, sir.
But we're going to go ahead and pick it up with a segment that I like to call Preguntas al Chile. If you have not subscribed to the channel, check out the beautiful graphics. Today is Carlos' birthday, so if you see the video,
birthday, Carlos.
Wish Carlos a happy birthday. We already cut the cake and everything. Preguntas al Chile. ¿Estás listo?
Estoy listo. Perfecto, dígame.
¿Tacos o tortas?
Tacos all day.
Tacos.
But depending on what kind of tacos or what kind of torta. You talking about the torta that they put on the planchita and then...
The one with the bread, the Mexican tortas. That's the one I refer to. You know a torta, a different kind of
torta. Right. Torta is actually cake. Pero sabes que me voy a ir por taco de todos modos, porque you can't miss it. We can't go wrong with a taco.
Yeah. See, that's a disconnect too. And I'm going to do episodes that we call exchanging cultures, even with on Latinos.
Yeah.
Torta for you means cake.
Yes, sir.
Torta for me means the sandwich type.
Yes, it does.
So it's crazy.
You know what's funny is that I actually lived in Mexico. So, Mexican slang it's like I understand everything.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yes,
so you
sir.
go tacos.
Taquitos.
Any kind of specific type?
I'm a chicken.
Chicken?
Pollito.
Pollito. Corn tortilla or flour tortilla?
Oof. I'm going harina. Corn.
Harina?
No, I'm sorry. Harina is flour.
Harina is flour.
No, tortilla de corn.
Corn. Good choice. Okay, this one's you're going to recognize, and I hope I say it right. Taquenos or pan de jamón?
Pan de jamón. Pancito de jamón. Sí, claro que sí.
Arepas or pabellón criollo?
Arepitas. O sea, el pabellón es hermoso, delicioso, pero una arepita, siendo venezolano, es lo mejor.
Yeah, these are Venezuelan dishes because he's from Venezuela, so that's
good stuff.
Actually, bro, I told you I do my homework.
No, yes, sir.
Mexican coca jarrito.
Jarrito de tamarindo.
De tamarindo. Ooh, you like the tamarindo flavor.
Oh, yes.
Fire.
Yes, sir.
Great choice. Agua de horchata, jamaica, or tamarindo?
Tamarindo.
Sticking with the tamarindo.
Oh, sí, señor.
Salsa verde, salsa roja. Do you like spicy? Living in Mexico, you have to.
Oh, no, yeah. Oh, I had to get used to it. You know what? I mix them.
You mix them both?
I mix them both. Red and green.
You know what? I be doing that sometimes too.
Tienes que mezclar. O sea, mezcla un poquito. Es delicioso.
Both flavors, yeah. Menudo, pozole. Do you know what each are? Which one do you like?
Yes, sir. Pozole all day.
Pozole.
Oh, yes.
You like the hominy part?
El grano.
El granito. The
Oh
hominy,
my God, qué rico.
Frijolitos, no
Sí.
frijolitos, es maíz.
El maíz, ¿ves?
Yeah,
Maíz.
es
Oh
maíz,
my God,
yes.
me encanta. Y me recuerda mucho cuando viví en México, así que
Oh,
me
¿sí?
encanta, sí.
Awesome. ¿Qué parte de México viviste?
En el DF.
En el DF. I
En
have
el
family
DF.
en el DF.
Sí, me la pasé por allá 3 años, por allá para arriba y para abajo.
Wow,
Fui a la
3
escuela y
years.
todo por allá, sí.
Yeah?
Buenísimo.
What did they used to do when they saw you? You were from a different
Right,
country.
you know, it was interesting because I was the only kid with curly hair
Oh,
in
yeah.
my school, so it was like the
Yeah.
sensation, you know. So I was like, cool, and I knew a little bit of English, so I'm, just trying to get my way around, trying to find a couple of friends. It was cool. It was great. It was a great experience actually to go to school in Mexico.
I bet. Churros or flan?
Flancito.
Valentina, Tapatio, Cholula, or Tabasco hot sauce? Do you like any of those?
Just because of my sister, I'm gonna say Valentina.
Valentina? Is that her name?
No, because she loves it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
and I like it because of her.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Valentina is pretty much, I think, the top choice. And the pastries, I don't know if you've seen the pastries, the conchitas. Do you like the white ones, the brown ones, or the pink ones? Have you ever had one?
Oh, yeah. The pink one. Pink one is so good.
Absolutely. Are you into conspiracy theories at all? Do you believe in any conspiracy theory?
Oh, my God, yes.
Tell me of a conspiracy theory that you heard, and as soon as you heard it, you were like, man, that's got to be true.
That's got to be true. Let me see. Well, there's so many, man. At this point, let's see. Conspiracy theory.
Moon landing, aliens, people living underwater, mermaids. You name it.
Man,
JFK.
Wait. So, I've seen this conspiracy theory about time travel, right? I'm all about time travel in space. There was quite some proof of some guy who was, speaking very clearly about the things that he said he saw from the future. Now, see, true, I don't know. Was it entertaining? Yes, it was. He knew what he was talking about. It's a video of a bald guy, a very creepy video, but it's interesting, and the way that he talks is like, something we don't. So if anybody finds this video, send it to me because I saw it once and I was never able to find it again.
You know what's crazy nowadays is that Photoshop and even with videos, doctoring the videos, it's really hard to tell.
Oh,
but I've seen some of those same videos you're talking about, the time traveling. Yeah. I'm like, man.
Is it real? Know? Is time travel real? Do you think we can time travel?
Okay, so here's my thing with time, right? For me, we made up time.
Exactly.
It's just a happening.
Yeah, right.
For me, it's just a measurement of things. Like if I didn't tell you to be here at 7, you wouldn't know when to show up.
Right, exactly. It's a measurement. Yeah, it is.
So that it is for us to be able to, be on time and function.
Right.
Anywhere else, do they know the concept of time or whatever?
Could be different for them.
I think it's made for us.
Right.
Or maybe they have another way.
Track.
Yeah. Now, in regards to moving at the speed of light and slowing down time or whatever it is, the faster you go, slowing it down or time doesn't pass as fast, then it makes you think, what is time? Because if you go faster, supposedly time becomes slower.
Right.
What does that mean?
That's
what I mean?
Yeah, see, once you start getting deep into it, things start kind of like bouncing around. What is actually happening? What is really true?
What is time? What is time? What first comes to mind when you first hear the word Latino or Latina or Latinx?
Latino, Latina, I think culture. I think culture. I think strength. I think unity. When Latino comes to mind, I think of unity.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And do you consider yourself a Latino? Do you mind if people call you Latino? Do you prefer to being called from Venezolano?
No me pueden decir venezolano, mexicano, me pueden decir lo que sea, yo lo represento. Yeah. Me han llamado dominicano, puertorriqueño y, son mis hermanos esos países.
Yeah.
A lo mejor hasta tengo tío por allá en Puerto Rico que ni lo sé.
Yeah.
So, so I'm very, very proud to represent the Latino community y eso es lo que yo siempre he representado con mi música. Desde el principio, desde antes que fuera popular rapear en español, yo estaba rapeando, yo estaba haciendo música en español y yo empecé grabando a gente. Y al principio no lo hacía porque el español no era popular en lo que era la música, especialmente donde yo estaba. Pero antes de que fuera popular rapear o cantar en español, yo estaba metido en eso.
So you were recording people and they were already rapping in Spanish. Is that in Mexico or was that
no,
in
actually,
Houston?
When I first started recording people, I was in high school and people were just rapping in English, right?
Is that in Houston?
In Houston, yeah. I was just lucky enough to kind of put myself in a circle with people who were already recording and artists that now are big nowadays. But, in my time, they were kind of just finding themselves and there was a big studio house in middle of, some neighborhood. And I spent like, I think 3 months, like my summer, my freshman summer, just dived in there and started recording artists. I didn't know anything that I was doing, but in those three months, that's when I fell in love into recording and like, the music and Houston's influence in music really took over me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wait, I can buy a mic, I can have a studio, and I could do this. Okay, perfect, let's go.
That's
so ever
awesome.
ever since then, I got behind that software, and that's my strength. I know how to work that software.
Which
very
was the
well.
one that you use?
I use all of them, but
all of them?
yeah, I use all of them. All softwares are good, and you have to be able to work all of them if you really want to be able to pull up to any studio and do what you do.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm super confident. I go to any studio and I know what I'm talking about. I know how to work at least a little bit of the software to get what I need to get out of it. But I record a lot in Logic. Right now, I'm actually getting certified in Pro Tools.
Really?
Yeah, I'm getting
certifications
Yeah,
for that.
yeah, there's certifications. Yeah, I'm taking my first class sometime soon. I've already been working with Pro Tools for quite some time, but getting certified by them is good. It's a good feeling, and on top of that, I was just telling John, I'm always seeking knowledge, especially when it comes to music production, because there's new software every single day.
New techniques too.
New techniques, new technology. It's literally endless.
Yeah.
I have in my computer, like I probably will never go through the amount of like software that I have.
Or plugins.
Like I have everything.
That's
and
crazy.
and you have to spend time learning and whatnot. So that's one of my strengths. Really, that software got in there a long time ago, and I owe it to a lot of people. John as well, Santana, Frankie, that taught me and was sitting right next to me when I had every question, because I asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's how you're gonna learn.
Mm-hmm.
I find myself very curious. That's the reason why I feel like the podcast is a great thing for me, because
Yes,
I'm always
sir.
curious about people.
Yes, sir.
And know how to ask the
Oh
questions.
no, you.
Question about that part. So you said a few people in the house that y'all were recording that were kind of somewhat not known yet. Can you name me a few people that were coming up that you got to record?
Absolutely, yeah. Shout out Ken Hendricks. Really, that's the one that right now I back in high school. Everybody knew he's a great talented guy. Whenever he actually just dropped a project, the story of Ken Hendricks, or the tale of Ken Hendricks. Great project. I was just checking it out. But he was one of the first artists that actually took me to a studio, a big studio, where the entire house was just a recording studio. Rooms upstairs was the studio. The main studio was the living room. The garage was like a whole, vibe, man cave.
So he had like 3 studios going?
Yeah, it was like a house where it literally was turned into an entire studio in the middle of a neighborhood. Like just random house, you can't even tell. But it's a full-blown studio.
That's dope.
And it was incredible, and so I spent 3 months just locked in there, just recording and whatnot. But, it was a great experience, and it kind of put me in a position to learn and ask questions and dive into the world that I wasn't going to spend $20,000, $30,000 in a studio. So for me to be able to have that access, it was incredible at that young age. I was like maybe my freshman year or my sophomore year, it was like 16, 17 maybe.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Okay, so let's dive into your story.
Yes, sir.
I know you were from Venezuela. You were born in Venezuela.
That's right.
Can you tell us a little bit I like to start off with this because I like to show people's different stories, path of how they got here.
Right.
So I know that you got into Houston at one time.
Mm-hmm.
But how was it your journey here to the United States from Venezuela with your family?
Right. It's been a long journey here to Houston and to where we're at now. But I was born in Caracas, Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
En los Magallanes de Katia. Entonces,
¿Qué son Magallanes?
Los Magallanes
¿Es un barrio?
Es un barrio.
Ah,
los Magallanes de Katia. Entonces, nada, mi mamá me tuvo a una temprana edad, pero mi mamá es una persona con una visión tremenda, una guerrera, pues. Entonces, ella me tuvo a temprana edad y empezó como que con su visión a trabajar en ella misma. Ella estaba estudiando inglés antes de nosotros saber que íbamos a estar aquí en los Estados Unidos. Y de repente, ella conoció a mi padrastro. Y mi padrastro es mexicoamericano. Él es de México, pero vive aquí en los Estados Unidos. Conoce a mi mamá, obviamente mi mamá, una chama de Venezuela que no se va a enamorar, ¿verdad? Entonces, entonces nada, mi padrastro nos fuimos a México. Ahí fue cuando yo vivía en México y pasé 3 años en México viviendo, apreciando la cultura. México me abrazó. O sea, literalmente yo digo que yo soy mexicano de corazón. Yo soy venezolano de sangre y yo amo Venezuela, pero México me abrazó y la cultura mexicana siempre me ha apoyado.
How old were you when you got to Mexico?
9. I was 9 years old.
So when you were in Venezuela, your mom met your stepdad.
Yes, sir.
And he was Mexican American.
That's right.
That's how y'all ended up in Mexico.
We ended
at
up
9 years old.
9 years old.
9 years
That's
old.
right. And then We were in Mexico for quite some time. You know, I told you I was in school in Mexico. It was a great experience. You know, it was just a great experience overall. I came from being, in Venezuela, not necessarily having a lot to now is, it's different. And so, what I tell a lot of my cousins out there is like, you don't know what's on the other side. And so therefore you can't really picture it, you know? And so when I come out here and I see the other side and I see what really it's different, I look at everybody back in Venezuela and I'm like, oh no, that ain't it.
Do you remember though your actual journey, like go to travel to Mexico? Was there airplane? Was there
yeah.
cars?
No, I took an airplane.
You took an
Took an airplane and I've been blessed, to go to Mexico and then to come out here, and everything be smooth. A lot of people don't have the same journey that I have.
Gotcha.
So everything has been well. I've been fighting hard for all my paperwork to always be straight. And I take that, and I hold it hard. Dear to my heart because I value what's here, the opportunity that we have here, and I definitely wouldn't want none of that taken away from me. For moving wrong.
Did your mom ever tell you why she was learning English for whatever reason? I know you said she's a visionary. She sees things maybe even the future as far as what she wants. What did she see? What did she know that?
She always tells me that she just saw more. She just saw more in her and having me at such a young age and seeing everything around.
How old was she? If you don't mind me asking?
She was actually 16 when my mom had me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mention my mom a lot. I'm very close to her.
Absolutely.
And she's like my best friend. On top of it, she's a very mature person that I could talk to about whatever. Obviously, it's my mother. She's very mature, but not everybody's super open with their parents where they can share everything. I can share anything in my goals, my vision. She's a businesswoman as well. Shout out Home Helpers from Cyprus. If you need anybody to take care of your family, my mom's got you.
I'll let him.
And my stepdad, he's a businessman. So I definitely look up to the way that she grew, thought at the beginning. But like I said, she just saw a vision. She saw something different. She always knew that she wanted to get out of where she was at. And I'm thankful that she didn't settle because we wouldn't be talking right now.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you get to the 3 years in Mexico,
Yep.
Mexico embraces you.
Yeah.
You went to school and everything.
Yeah.
They saw your curly hair. Never seen somebody like that. But then when is the decision to come to the United States? Houston's where y'all landed, right?
Right, yeah. So the decision actually was made in Venezuela. We actually went to Mexico just because it was better for my stepdad to fly into Mexico all the time, other than flying to Venezuela.
Gotcha.
So we moved to Mexico to be closer. At first, I was like, no, I'm not going to another country. Like what? I have all my family here.
Your friends,
everybody, and I'm thankful at me having to move to different places and do different things because it helped me do what I'm doing right now. Go to a brand new spot. I don't know anybody, but I can handle myself.
Yeah.
So and I did the same thing for Phoenix. I lived in Houston. I have everything I ever needed in Houston, but I just like give me a second now. I'm Houston's got everything for me, but there is more out here, and why not experience a little bit? Literally one day picked up my bags, left to Phoenix, it was nothing. And
why made you just decide to? Was it
I'm like that, man.
Driven?
I'm like that.
You're like a modern nomad. Just want to
well,
explore the country.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't say nomad, but I definitely if I feel a good vibe at a spot, I'll go. Like I'll go.
What drew you over there?
I had already been there, and I used to produce for an artist out there, and I used to write all his music, and I had work out there. So I'm like, perfect. It's close to Cali. It's in the cities and downtown. Not only that, but downtown is a great place for to promote music. Downtown Phoenix is a college campus.
Yeah,
downtown Phoenix is pretty much a college campus, so it's a great place to perform, to promote music, perform in all the little spots and whatnot. So I saw an opportunity there to promote music, man, and just find myself in a good spot to write my next project, Love in Spanish 2, which is what I've been working on the entire time that I've been out there.
Love in Spanish 2.
That's right.
We'll get into the music here in a little bit.
Yes, sir.
You have Love in Spanish.
That's right.
The first one.
Yes, sir.
Which we'll talk about that here shortly.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing. So you find yourself one day just getting up there. You saw opportunity, even though you had everything in Houston.
Everything.
Nothing really stopping you. No lady hurt you, and you just decided to just take off.
No.
Awesome.
Nobody hurt me. Just one day I just felt like let's go out there. Let's explore a little bit. I'm getting money out there.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's go. There's nothing tying me anywhere. That's what I always tell myself.
That's what the money was at that time.
Exactly.
It made sense. And then, Houston was great. You did. You learned a lot. Your recording part and everything else that you kind of sort of like opened that that door for you to make money in another place.
That's
So
right.
that was dope.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell me about your name, Alexsoy. Is that your name? Is that a particular inspiration from your name? Is there something that you heard?
Actually, I got the name Alexsoy at that house that I told you, the recording place.
Yeah.
We were just at the spot, and everybody kept calling me Alexsoy, and it just stuck with me. So it
Is
just
that play on your real name?
yeah, Alejandro.
Alejandro.
Alejandro. My name is Alejandro, and so it kind of just stuck with me, and I didn't want to change it. Already, at that point, I was already kind of starting to drop music, so I put 1 or 2 songs out. I was like, let's go, and I loved it. Stuck with me. I created a whole theme around it. Alexsoy aquí presente. Got a whole little slang when I start my songs.
Go ahead. What is it?
Alexsoy aquí presente. Yeah.
That's dope.
So when I start my record,
did they ever say why they call you Alexsoy? Is there a reason
somebody
why?
was trying to find a name for me, right? And they were just like, "Man, you're unique." And so the guy was the only word that he knew was probably soy, for I am. And so he just put it together, slapped it together, and started naming me on one of the songs, and it stuck with me.
So rather soy Alex,
So Alexsoy, exactly. So it just stuck with me,
cool.
and I ran with it, man.
That's
yes,
better.
sir.
Okay, so you started very young, even though your mother was young,
Yeah,
and she was learning English and everything else. She still got you into the music early. 8 years old, you were already starting to dab into instruments, different instruments like that, piano and different things like that.
Yeah, I always had instruments in front of me. My mom always was trying to keep me. I've always been very detailed on who I hang around. That's what she always told me. Like, she always says that I was very picky on my friends, and I've always been, just because I want good energies around me, and I know what I want. I know exactly what I'm here. And so the people that don't necessarily bring that energy, I just always kept them around. So from a young age, I had instruments, and my best friends were instruments. Piano, even though I didn't know how to play it. Moving around a lot, not only to Mexico or to Venezuela, but in Venezuela, I moved around a lot. I spent a lot of time just by myself. And so music has always been an outlet for me to feel connected to something. And instruments have been helpful, to feel peace, feel stability in my life. Learning an instrument is probably one of the greatest feelings ever,
Yeah.
So I always remember having an instrument in front of me, and I owe it to my mom to always try to keep something in front of me to keep me distracted from the streets, That was pretty much her way of like keeping me at home. New instrument, new little piano, ukulele, a guitar, something. Just stay at home all day, man, in front of that computer, just working.
So, I mean, it's a good strategy to have, especially since she saw that the first instrument you gravitated towards it, and you just kept bringing different ones.
And I don't remember not having a studio in front of me, at my house. I've always, since 16 years old, since I told you that I went to that place, I thought I could buy a studio and I could get good at this. And I bought, a $250 studio equipment, very much nothing. But from that, it all started. And, it takes time to get good at something.
Yeah.
It doesn't come, and I wasn't born with just the talent of writing music. I've worked my way into this. I've read books about music writing. I'm all into about the science of songwriting and production. And because I'm a producer and I was able to dive into the world of starting a song from scratch, I mean, the music is math and it's science. And that, man, is beautiful to me.
So in your studies, whenever you were looking into it, you found that's part of the elements that make a successful song, including maybe even the structure of the song?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you know by chance, just in your mind, some of the similar things that popular song structures, very popular songs have the structure? What is it?
Oh, yeah. I've always, every time I'm in a studio session, I feel like this has been my little secret, right? And I'll give it to you guys. It's not really no secret, but it's a strategy that works, right? I call it the 4-bar method. Everybody probably knows about it. And if you're a good writer and if you're good, you're a good rapper, singer, whatever, you use this. And even if you don't know how to do it, this is what you're doing. I call it the 4-bar method, and it's the easiest way to write music. I pick 4 words that I like and that are go with the subject that I'm going to say. 4 words. Those 4 words are going to be my bar. Then it's up to my creativity as I'm singing. I don't write my music. I just kind of go in there and obviously I write after I have the initial idea. But if you can think of 4 words, and if you have good rhythm, you have a good vocabulary, you have a theme and you have a concept, you can write a song. Pick 4 words, fill on those gaps, but those are your bars. And you know how to count bars and you know somewhat of time. And trust me, that structure will do it. You'll write a song within 15 minutes, how long it takes,
Wow. So you don't write anymore. You actually, because it's awesome that you learn at 16 how to do and save yourself money, because if you was to spend that time on the studio,
that's one of the reasons.
Re-recording you, punching in, because a lot of the times certain things don't make it to the final cut.
Oh yeah.
And you record over and over until you get that. So you save yourself a lot of money by
lots of money.
Not by Geico, but by learning
but,
the method that he did, which is amazing.
Yeah, no, yeah, it saved me a lot of money. And on top of that, I always tell, artists and people that want to get into the music, you have to be able to record yourself.
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to give a demo, at least to the producer, the engineer, somebody. This is my reference track, right? There's nothing worse to an engineer or producer than an artist that comes not ready to the studio, because they expect you to create something for them, when in reality, if you're paying for studio time, let's not get into that too much, but you have to come ready to studio sessions. And I always give tips and tricks to artists to when they go to studios on how to handle themselves. Yeah. Because a lot of artists actually don't even know how to handle themselves in studios, and therefore they don't get the result that they came for, and it happened to me at the beginning. Yeah. I'm coming to the studio now already, and I come on, I'm like, nothing.
Talking about alcohol, maybe some other activities, recreation activities that might delay you from being productive.
That's right. And I talked about this in a lot of interviews before, that I've been in studio sessions where nothing gets done, because of those reasons. And
some people are habitual studio goers just because they like the process to feel. They never come out with any projects.
Yeah, right, exactly.
They kind of sort of enjoy that. Yeah, but for you, it's more of like, let's create something.
Oh, no, for me, it's work time when I'm in the studio, man. Like, one thing that I'm, I don't get annoyed by anything, right? But it is disturbing to go in the studio and not get anything done, because it's, being in front of that computer and behind that software, there's little things that you're doing, you're taking your time, you can't go backwards. And if things aren't done properly, if the artist is not pleased with their vocal, pleased with, how it came out, you have to go backwards a lot, a lot of that takes the song forward, So at this point, where I'm at, I don't record artists anymore, For a long time, I was recording artists because it pays the bills.
Yeah.
But I don't record artists anymore.
Do you still do the mix and mastering for them?
Oh yeah. As of right now, I've stopped mixing and mastering for anybody other than myself right now.
Gotcha.
It takes a lot of time, and quite honestly, I have too much to focus on right now when it comes to my own music to record anybody else now. If anybody would love to get mixed and mastered by me because they really enjoy my sound, I'm open to it. I'm an artist and I love to create, and especially if it's a great song. Sometimes I hear a song on Instagram, or I now DM people like, let me mix this for you. Like, I see potential in this. I know what I can take this, and I'll mix people's song for free,
Gotcha.
Just because I like them that much. Yeah. So it's not really hard to get a hold of me when it comes to mixing and mastering, but for the most part, man, I'm just mixing my vocals down. I have the Soy chain, literally, it's a vocal chain that I've created on the Waves platform plugins, which I'm certified by Waves plugins as well.
Nice.
So it's my vocals and my vocal chain is like my sauce right now.
So if you want to reach out to him, he will, but it's a business. If he wasn't digging the song in the beginning, reach out to you. Make sure you compensate the man for his work.
Right.
You say you have over 10,000 hours of recording easily?
Oh, easily, man.
Mastery, man. Mastery.
Oh, yeah. No, 10,000 hours of recording, 100%. I used to spend, just days in hotels, just set up my studio in a hotel, get it for a week, and just literally stay there and just record hours and hours and hours. And I love that software. I'm not gonna lie. I love Logic Pro. I love Pro Tools. I love FL. I actually genuinely love those softwares, and there's endless creativity that you can do in there. So I've easily spent more than 10,000 hours in that software. I've been making music in that way for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
Since I was 16, so now I'm 28, I'm about to turn 29. So I definitely have quite some hours behind that software, and I love them. I love every single minute.
What made you want to get a hotel to get away and just be there creating? What was it about that?
It's because the way that I was introduced to, like when I was touring, I only did this after like I already experienced it. When I was touring with, just in general, with
you can name some of the people you were touring. You told me Mystical was one of the ones that you were?
When I went on my biggest tour that I did was with No Limit Records, which I went on tour with Master P. But I went under Sons of Funk. I don't know if you remember Sons of Funk from the 90s.
Sounds a little familiar.
They had really big records. And
plug a little clip of their song,
Carlos. Yeah, there you go. Sons of Funk, Pushing Inside of You. It's actually an R&B record that was huge back in the 90s. And, they're still doing gigs. They're still doing a lot. And in around 2017, it's so insane how I actually got on tour. I used to be a server somewhere in the Woodlands, in the area in the Woodlands, right?
Working at the restaurant.
Working in the restaurant
Nice.
industry. Working, just grinding. And I'm a people person, man. And I'll talk to anybody, and I end up being friends with them. So most of my tables like ended up being my friends.
That's cool.
And so one of my regulars, some lady that came from Louisiana one day, she's like, she really digs, my vibe and whatnot. And she's like, I gotta get your Instagram. And then she gets my Instagram. She sees that I sing, and she just keeps on contact with me. And she's like, no, I'm gonna put you on. I'm gonna put you on. A year, 2 years pass by, nothing happens, right? One day she hits me up out of nowhere. She's like, hey, can you come to Louisiana, because I think I have an opportunity for you. And like I said, you tell me you got an opportunity for me, I'm going. I was like, all right, Mom, I think I had a job. I think I quit and everything, man. I was like, oh, wait.
It doesn't surprise me if you leave your job.
Yeah.
If you leave a whole town to move, I don't doubt that you could have done that.
I was like, wait, an opportunity to do music? Gone, man. I was like, all right, boss, I'm sorry. I love y'all, but, I'm gone. So I went out there, and so next thing you know, I'm pulling up to this mansion, man. Like, they picked me up from the airport and everything, and I'm pulling up to this mansion, and I'm like, man, who are these people? Because you didn't really tell me about them like that. And so I go into the house, and I go into the main house, and I'm like, whoa, this place is nice. And so then I go into the back door, and I see platinum records all over, and then a huge studio. And I'm like, this is my toy right now? This is where I'm going to be working? Oof. So I get super excited. They start breaking down who they are. And obviously, they're a big band in the 90s. Yeah. Now, I know a lot of people, but I just wasn't super familiar with them. Then they start playing their records, and I'm like, oh, wow, like, I didn't know that was you guys.
That's you guys?
Yeah, so I'm like, wow. So then they started training me. They started training me hard, every day in the studio, singing, choreography, dancing. It's R&B. It's real R&B,
So were you going to be there to perform, or were you going to be there to be part of the group performing?
I was performing, singing, dancing, producing, writing songs for them.
As part of the group?
As part of the group, yeah.
Oh,
I was in stage singing with them, with Rico, with everybody.
All of them.
And it was a great experience, man. It was a great experience. I learned so much from Rico himself, how to perform, how to put together a choreography for a show, what to do, give him a show, like spice it up, and he put me to work and taught me a lot, he taught me how to prepare for a show. A lot of people just show up, that's okay as well. If you got it like that, if you have nothing to really show up and rap, that's fine. But if you want to give people, you see it, big people do it, they have a whole, Beyonce has a whole band, a whole dancers and whatnot. So, yeah, man, they just taught me a lot. And so that's how I ended up going on tour with them, by being a good server.
That's crazy. Okay, so before that day, have you ever been on stage performing?
Oh, yeah, I have been on stage. I performed.
But did you perform, or did you learn the difference of performing?
No. I didn't perform. That was just me getting up there trying to do something, Then after that, I learned about performing. And
what was the difference? What was you learn the most about?
Preparation, and it's about having every moment in stage thought out. At least for an R&B singer, or for somebody that's planning out a show with more people involved, right? If you're just by yourself, you can do whatever on stage. But when you have a whole group, like an R&B group, you have to be in sync with everybody. So preparation is absolutely key, and that's the difference between just a rap show and a concert. A concert where you have to go and perform and entertain, and things can go wrong if you just don't do your job right,
Yeah.
And many times, bro, did I get kicked out on stage? Like, it's not your time, People don't care, At the end of the music industry, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars in that night alone that are getting, put into the show, or whatever.
Don't worry about your feelings. You know your timing. You're supposed to be coming in at 5 minutes. What are you doing here right now? Wait.
Exactly, man. Exactly. There was an incident. I'm gonna tell you this one, because this was super funny. Yeah. We're on stage. We're in Colorado. 3,000 plus people, man. Belco Theater. It's lovely. And it's our turn to perform, right? Two things went wrong. That night I met Mystical, Mia X, and that's the night that I actually met Master P, right? Not too much talking, obviously. He's that guy's got big security next to him. You can't really say a lot to the guy. Yeah. But we go on stage, man, and we're performing. And in this performance, we're actually doing a very, very sexual performance. I'm not gonna lie. Very, it's R&B. It's 90s R&B. Is you gotta, so
you gotta get somebody pregnant by the end of the night, or after the show is over. You know what I mean?
Right. So Rico, shout out to Rico, man. He really pulled through. He's about to go into the floor and he falls. But he landed so smooth. You know what he starts doing?
Hello, you and all. Thank you very much for checking out this episode. Make sure you go and subscribe, hit the like button, leave us a comment. We appreciate it. Now, back to the episode.
Instead of falling and taking, he started grinding the floor, just like it was part of the show. And I'm like, that's a professional. That's a professional. The show must go on.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the one thing that I was like, wow. Anybody else would have just, I don't know, throw them off entirely. But he literally like just made that part of the.
That's a pro. That's
Rico.
A pro.
Sons of Fun Rico, man. Shout out to Rico. I learned a lot from him.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's badass though. You got to, out of like just working to,
man.
They follow you to a year later even. And then finally you were there. So how long did the tour last? How many stops did y'all make? And what ended up happening that you were not able to continue with them?
We did quite some shows. I'm not. It was Louisiana, Denver. It was a couple interstates.
Mm-hmm.
Denver was our biggest show, and I still to this point talk to them. Those are my people. I love them a lot, and we still got records that I recorded. They drop them eventually, so I still got a lot of work with them.
Nice.
And they're actually working something right now on a movie, and they just called me the other day. So I'm ready to act. That's my family.
Have you done any acting?
I've done acting before
on your videos, but
I've done acting in the actual movies. My stepdad, he's hooked me up with not a lot, but a lot of Mexican movies, and just little acting, little this. I've died a couple times in movies. I'm ready, man.
I'm starting to think of some of the Mexican movies I've seen. I think I've seen you before. Right?
You might have, because I've been extra. Yeah, and a lot of just independent films.
But you get the experience.
It's fun. It's fun. It's a good experience. Yeah. And the thing about it is that like you have to start somewhere. But hey, like if anybody's got a movie role for me, trust me, I got you. I'll knock it out.
Knock it out the
easily.
Park. That's dope. That's badass.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go back to the studio part.
Yeah.
You write up as far as the artist going in there and being prepared, because at the end of the day, you're a creator. You know what you do, and they paying for studio time. They ain't paying for your expertise to write a song for them, create all this stuff for them. They're supposed to be ready to record whatever they have.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's not cool that they don't.
Yeah, no. It's recording artists. It's a tough job.
Is it tougher than door-to-door salesman? That you did a little bit on?
No, man. Doors to doors. That is the one right there. That'll toughen you up. How
important do you feel that, even though it might have not been the best feeling or the best thing to do at that moment, it was so helpful for you that you realize how important it was.
My man, I loved every minute of it.
Yeah,
I loved it. Like I love sales. I used to go from not knowing somebody. Now in 30 minutes, they're giving me the social security to sign them up for electricity.
Just like that.
Like, not just like that all the time. But if somebody gives me an opportunity to talk to them.
But it's a numbers game, though. Like, out of 10 people, 2 people, it's a numbers game.
Oh, my man, it's a numbers game. Oh, it was like, it was competition. I've been very blessed to have mentors in my life that taught me about a few things. And my boy Eduardo, which was my manager back then when I was door to door. And door to door was happening very early, like turned 18. I got out of high school. One of my friends tells me, I got an opportunity where you can make $3,000 a week. Where? Dallas. Come on. I started here.
You started here?
Yes, sir.
So you were living here?
I was living here in Dallas.
Oh, wow.
For 1 year in Fort Worth, like in the middle. Or, somewhere between.
Around the DFW. We call it the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Exactly, Dallas-Fort Worth area. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was 18. I was out here just knocking on doors. People were shutting me down, and I'm nowhere. Next one. And
were you shy though before that? Or was your confidence
up? What? I was a bit shy. Not shy, but I'm not.
You wouldn't go and talk to strangers just because.
Just because, and especially not knock on the door. You know what I'm saying? But man, I loved every minute of it because I started getting so passionate about sales and about self-development. Right?
Yeah.
That's when I first learned about self-development. And so that opened me up, and in many ways, self-development, sales, made a lot of money with them. And so, but the most important thing that came out of that was my talking skills and, my being able to communicate with other folks and being able to make somebody believe in something.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're doing when you're selling. You're making somebody believe that that's the right choice for them, You're just helping them make the right choice. Yeah. And if you can make them believe that is the right choice, you got them.
So you used all that without even realizing at 18, but the things that you've been doing, including the music, to be able to believe that this is what it is, because you have to believe on your own music yourself, the creation of it, the process, the hours that you spend on it to be able to sell it to them that this is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of belief and a lot of just knowing who you are. You know, I always say this: if you can figure out, like, before you even think about anything else, if you can figure out where you want to be, you'll figure out the steps. If you know who you are, if you figure out what you want to become, exactly who you want to be, you can really figure out the steps, and you'll always feel like you're accomplishing things because you know the end goal, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just you just keep on moving forward from there. You know where you want to be. You determine what success is for you, and you go and wake up every single. I wake up sometimes I jump out of it, man. I wake up and I had a song that I started last night. Moment I open my eyes, I just jump out of bed like with a heartbeat, like, you know, like, oh,
Yeah.
I need to go get this done now, you know. And it's a beautiful feeling to wake up like that.
Yeah.
You know, I've woken up on the other side, now wanting to wake up, you know, just on the other side.
Probably because you had a job.
You know, I don't.
I'm just saying.
Right, right. It's like that day you were gonna clock in, so yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Right. No, but you know, it's beautiful to be able to wake up. But one thing about it, man, is like I don't mind go ahead and getting that work done. You know,
Yeah.
I'll go and get that work done and just hustle up. You know, and it taught me a lot, man, to do door to door. So
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I heard it, but I heard that so many hours of door to door is equivalent to almost like a 4-year.
really, I've heard that
education,
before. I've heard that
because
before.
If you think about it, a lot of the things that you learn from people,
Oof.
their stories, their
Mhm.
experiences that
Oh
they
yeah,
share with
I've got a
you.
lot of crazy stories about people just like I still got contact with some of the people that I sold electricity to.
What's the craziest story that you can
Craziest
remember?
story? I'll tell you one. I go. It was my 4th house of the day. I can remember so clear because it was like a great. I tell her all the time. It was my 4th house of the day. Now 150 per house that I close. Right, 4th house of the day. That's quite some money, right? So I'm like, it's the last house. It's like 7 o'clock. I'm ready to just settle with this house, and I'm closing this guy. I'm boss man. I'm right here. Let's talk. Let's talk about your electricity. So I actually was I was waiting for the guy to get there because I talked to the wife earlier, and she's like, "Oh, my husband gets here, this and I can't do." No worries, man. What time your husband comes home? We'll talk to him. We'll all talk together. So you know, I'm coming back at 6 p.m. or 6 p.m. or whatever, 7. And so husband gets home. You know, tough guy, got a gun right here. You know, just Texas boy. I'm in Odessa actually. This was in Odessa,
Jesus.
Odessa, Texas.
The middle of nowhere. They wouldn't even know if you disappeared.
Oh yeah, none. Gone. Just gone. Just done. And so yeah, so he's like, all right, you want to talk? Come here. And so he takes me to this room, and it's a man cave full of guns everywhere, man. Just and he's like, my bill has been coming up high. I want to talk about it. I'm like, all right, well, let's see if I can help you out. Well, it turns out that I couldn't help him out. You know, his deal was bad. And I'm like, here's why your deal's bad.
At a variable rate.
His rate was up. 14 cents a kilowatt, I remember. And I'm offering 9 cents.
Bring it down to 9 or 7.
Boss man, I got you.
It's over.
I got you. I'm going to bring
Fixed
you.
rate too for about a year, 2 years.
2 years, 24-month plan.
Easy.
Let's go.
I used to work in electricity.
Oh, did you? You know
But I
exactly
was
what
the
I'm...
services side. I wasn't the sales part.
Oh, you were in the phones.
I was the one that y'all receiving the calls and complain about
I-
y'all because y'all lied to them about their rates. But I know that wasn't the case. You know what I mean? Because I already knew they were not listening well.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's, you know, electricity is a tricky system.
Yes.
You know, so...
Especially here in Texas when it's
oh
hot
my
like this,
God,
bro.
it's not regulated, so you can have whoever. You know,
Yeah.
it's a great way to do it out
Yeah,
here.
it
You know, not in Arizona, it's regulated. You can't have anybody.
Yeah.
But so the guy has a whole you know, a whole place. I could help him out. He starts giving me beers, and my manager ever told me if somebody ever tries to drink. It's fine, man. Have a good time.
You'll report.
You know what I mean? It's fine. And we're not gonna say nothing. So I was like, all right, it's my last house. You know, I start having a couple Bud Lights with him and whatnot. And so guy ends up liking me, man. You know, he's like, man, I want you to, you know, switch companies. End up switching him. You know, he has an electricity. You know, if you have 2 meters,
Yeah.
that's a double house.
That's a double house.
So boom, it was a double house. I was super happy for that day. You know, he's like, let me get your phone tomorrow. I'm gonna take you to the gun range. And I'm like, what? I was like, boss man, I got to work tomorrow. You know, he's like, I'm gonna take your entire crew. And I was like, oh wow, perfect. That's fine. I'll tell my boss, and he'll probably all go. The next day he picks everybody up in his, you know, him and his couple buddies in a bunch of trucks, picks us up in the middle of nowhere. We go to Walmart first, spends about $1,000 in ammunition.
$1,000.
About $1,000 in ammunition. It was a bunch of us. And he takes every gun that he has. And then we go to the middle of nowhere and we just start shooting, barbecuing. And I'm just like, wow, like all this happened just because I got drunk with him yesterday.
That's a whole day affair?
A whole day. We took off work. We just went out in Odessa, middle of nowhere. And that is the craziest story that I got from door-to-door sales.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was
That
great.
is crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
literally.
great. It was great.
That's badass.
Mhm.
But I'm telling you, the skills that you got far as door to sales, especially talking to people. Whether we want it or not, every day we're selling ourselves. You can't. I know a lot of people feel like they're not selling, but you always selling. I'm always gotta be doing this and that, whether you want it or not.
Yeah.
Politicking and selling yourself is almost like a thing that you have to do every day.
You have to.
Okay, so then when was it that you actually released your first official album? I know you have Love in Spanish. Was that the very, very first one, or have you been releasing singles prior to that?
Yeah, no, I've been releasing singles for like 2013, 2012, 2013.
2012,
Yeah, not the greatest singles that I have out, but it was my beginnings, and all my production since the beginning has been done by me, So at the beginning, it wasn't sounding super great, but I wouldn't change none of that. That's why I always keep it up there, because I'm letting people know that it's okay to start at a point and then work your way up to a good status. I have songs that don't necessarily sound that great from 2013 when I didn't know anything, but I'll leave them up there as long as I make music, because those are my beginnings. So 2013, 2012 is when I started actually releasing music. Now recording music. It was like maybe a year or two before that when I was just kind of recording people and getting into the studio vibe. But 2013, it was like those official times.
Do you ever look back at the songs you put out and reference them back to where your sound is, and you'd be like, man, I came up a long way?
Big time.
Yeah?
Big time. When I first started, like I said, I wasn't born with this talent,
Yeah.
I've worked my way up to what I have now. And when I first started, it was horrible. Like, not horrible what I did, but the production, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And I've always been, a believer in, like, I just wanted to create songs from scratch. And so at the beginning, I wasn't very good at all. And I look back and I was, I think, wow. I've always given producers their credit, because beat production, it's tough.
Post-production, everything, the whole shebang.
The whole shebang when it comes to, we just get to listen to the master. That is the last step. Creating a record from scratch, let alone a good record, takes a team, takes effort, mixing hours. A lot of people. Here's where I give respect to artists. If you can do a whole record, not just show up and do a couple bars and leave everybody, like, that doesn't impress me at all.
Mm-hmm.
Don't matter how good you rap. You show up to a studio and all you do is rap. That's cool, but everybody raps. You can make a record. You can do a little bit of post production. You can show me that you can work that software. I'll have a different type of respect for you, because you're showing me that you actually have passion enough to get in there, enough to understand what the engineer is doing with your sound. And then on top of that, you could potentially come up with something better because you understand what the output can be.
Yeah.
Because you can mess with the software,
Yeah.
And that's what I was telling John. It's like, sometimes I feel like I have unlimited creativity. Now, I know that this comes from, like I say in one of my songs, Apollo sends the signals. I'm the one translating him. Right, it's given to us. It's all a cloud, right? We're all picked from that cloud, and that's why some songs sound similar, because it's all written. Mm-hmm. Music is just damn near recycling, of what's already out there, and we're just kind of translating it and putting our own little touch to it, putting it out to the world. So I give a lot of respect to people that can work that software.
So do you do the actual beat making too?
Yeah,
you do from nothing to
nothing,
the
absolutely
master
nothing.
And
mix and master. Now, am I seeking more knowledge in that area? Always. And I'll always try to get better. That's why I'm doing my class right now with Pro Tools, and I'm asking a lot of questions there. And but I do, when I say I start from absolutely zero, nothing. Like, sometimes I just hum. Like, I could be half asleep. The other day I was half asleep, and one of my records that are coming out is called Europe. I was thinking about it halfway asleep. And so I have come like dozing off. I just hear a melody and I just picked up my phone, recorded it, and I just fell asleep to it. The next morning, you kind of go back to that reference and you get inspired by it and you come up with a whole beat behind it. And that's how good records kind of like come to you. That's why I said Apollo sends the signals. I'm the one translating him. You just kind of wait for that feeling that you get. You feel a little passion, a little melody, and you put it down. That's why it's important to be able to record yourself.
It's trippy to me. I just had an epiphany. You know how Despacito, the biggest song ever was? You know how that's how I got started?
Mm-hmm.
Fonzie woke up from a dream. I had this Puerto Rico.
Wow.
That.
I did not know that.
3 years later, the song's released and it's the biggest thing ever.
Wow. In a
Puerto
dream.
Ricans, Colombian producers. I believe it was from Peru, one of the other writers.
Really?
And then the videographer was Mexican.
Wow, I did not know that's how that record came about.
I know,
really?
I did an episode on my first few episodes.
Really?
My first episode that I ever did, that I'm not the proudest. Carlos not either, because it's just very humble beginnings.
Right,
But you
right.
see the progression of where we at now.
Wow.
It
I
takes
need
me
to
all the
check
way
that one
back to
out.
the first one, where it
Really?
started from just waking up with the sound and recorded it.
Wow. I did not know
Took
that.
himself to the studio and recorded it.
That
And that's how
is
it came
that
to
is
life.
great. That
3
is
years
great.
later.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
That's crazy.
That's how records come together sometimes. It's an idea. And that's why I said it's so important to be able to record yourself as an artist, because not always are you going to have an engineer next to you to record your moment of passion,
Yeah,
So if you're able to record yourself, you have such an advantage.
you do.
So if anybody wants to learn how to record themselves, holla at your boy, man. For like, I can put some people on a few courses.
Do you do any tutorials in your channel at all?
I do tutorials, and
Nice.
I try to put people on what I work with. But it's very technical, So a beginner can, and like I said, it's levels to it, It's levels to engineering. You could just record an artist, you could just mix down, And sometimes I don't even know what I would start to tell people at like beginner stages, I've been deep in there so much that I don't even know what. I don't know. I just give out my sauce, which is the vocal chain that I use, the soy chain, which is the most important thing for a recording artist, your vocal chain. If you're an artist, if you're a recording artist and you really want to take your sound to the next level, forget your raps, forget your lyrics for a second, right? It's important. But worry about that vocal chain. Artist vocal chains is the most important thing. What are
is
your
a vocal chain? What
Okay.
exactly is
So,
that? Can you break it down for me?
Absolutely. A vocal chain is how you get this information from here into your computer, right? So it's a lot of things that go into it. What mic are you gonna use? What audio interface are you gonna use? Are you gonna use a preamplifier or not? Are you gonna use analog gear, or are you gonna just use digital gear? That's just to get the information here. And then on top of that, the most important thing is the plugins that you put to create that specific sound.
Yeah.
Artist vocal chains could go up to $100,000. Depending on the mic that they use, the gear that they use, and then the plugins that they use.
Yeah.
It's insane how a gear they use. They're super expensive, and that's the vocal chain. It's how you get the information of actual sound into a digital workstation.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's your vocal chain. And if I could recommend anybody that wants to get a really crispy sound, is focus on your vocal chain. Like it'll really boost up what you got going on. On top of that, a good engineering one out, but at home you can come up with great records if you just have a good vocal chain. And if anybody wants to try out my vocal chain, the one that I personally use, you can go to Waves plugins, use their Studio Rack plugin, and you can look up the Soy chain, which is my own personal vocal chain that I created in the Waves plugin. So you can literally look it up and slap that on your vocal. Trust me, you got at least a demo.
At least the demo.
At least the demo.
And that's like for somebody that's barely coming up.
If you're just starting and you're at zero, matter of fact, this is a tutorial right here. If you're at zero and you want to come up with some music, first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to splice.com and you're going to get a subscription for it from there. They're going to give you sounds, royalty free. You're going to pay, but you're going to be able to use them. Then you're going to go to Waves plugins. You're going to download the subscription for $20, invest in yourself. You're going to use the Studio Rack and you're going to look up the Soy chain and you're going to slap that on your vocals. You can DM in about it, thanking me later for giving you that information, because trust me, it's all about the vocal chain.
Appreciate that very much.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm always about, I've done this too. I don't record, but I've recorded songs.
Really?
I've gone through the process of doing it. So, you know what I mean? And a lot of times I could say it, but it's not the same for me saying it, doing it, than from another person that has more songs than I, more experience, more hours than they done it before. You know what I mean? So it sounds cool for me to say it, but it's better from somebody that's been doing it a lot more.
Right.
Your expertise to let somebody else know, like, hey,
it's a pleasure.
This is how you do it.
Wow.
So that's pretty dope. I'm going to clip this whole piece and going to put it in there for somebody to use it.
Lovely. Yes,
so
sir.
awesome.
That's good information, to be honest.
So Love in Spanish.
Yes, sir.
That project itself, not only did you create the project, once you had it, you brought in a friend to help you with it. In addition, the marketing itself that went in there. When did you start beginning to look into the part where the marketing needed to be connected together with the project itself?
Yeah.
Doing the work is fun. The recording, even though it's hard work for you, it's enjoyable because you haven't quit. Let me ask this though: how come you never quit? How come you never stopped with all these hours?
Music?
Yeah. What kept you going? If you could easily just walk away.
I'm so passionate about music, bro.
Did it ever cross your mind to stop?
It's never crossed my mind to quit. It's crossed my mind things like what am I gonna achieve with this? What's the end goal? And that's why I go so hard on like knowing my destination, knowing who I am. I'm Alexsoy, a songwriter, producer, and composer, and an artist, and that's what I'm destined to do. So that's why I never quit, because I know exactly who I am, and I know where what I want to leave in this earth. You know, the mark that I want to leave. When people think about Alexsoy, songwriter, producer, composer, and artist, and so that's why I never quit, because that's who I am. If I quit, this would be quitting who I am.
So those parts never cross your mind because you already know the greater things that come out of it, who you are and what you're leaving, is way heavier than any thought of even stopping.
I would be like, those thoughts can't cross my mind. It's like I have too many good things going on with this for it to ever cross my mind. You know, it's too many things going on with this music industry. I feel like I'm at a point right now where it's I can do this forever, really, bro, and be good. You know, physically, financially, spiritually. Like I could do my music and be good, and I just pushing it further could only make me bigger. So stopping this, it's not even an option.
Okay, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go back to the love in Spanish.
Yes, sir.
So where did you figure that those things have to be merged together? You have the
Absolutely.
recording down.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure by that time you already almost found your sound or
Yes,
what
sir.
you're looking for.
Yes, sir.
So how did that project come to be, and where did you learn that the marketing was just as essential as the recording?
Oh, super essential. So the whole project started because that's Love in Spanish started when I dropped it. It was like it started like 3 years prior, because Love in Spanish is a body of me trying to be a better producer, right? When I come up with Love in Spanish, I'm just trying to become a better audio engineer, a better producer, and that's what I'm doing with Love in Spanish too, which we'll get into in a second. So it was Love in Spanish came together in a search of me trying to be a better artist, right? And the Love in Spanish theme was like, it's always been, I love the love theme, right, in music, and I love using Spanish on top of that Spanglish in my records, right? So it just kind of would just fit everything together. The way that I look, you know, the way that I talk, the way that I move, it just seemed like the right theme to go for when it comes to my first project. And so it actually, I finished the project, right? I bring it to John, and John is like, we have to take it to the studio one more time. And I'm like, what we're gonna do? I'm gonna show you what we're
How
gonna do.
did you feel when he said that? Were you excited? Were you like,
Super-
dude, I worked so hard. This is
No.
done. What do you mean?
No. I take his word.
Yeah,
I take his mentorship. Like, this guy knows what he's talking about when it comes to music. You know, he's a drummer. He's been playing drums since he was a kid. He knows music. He knows what is missing from a record. You know, and so when he told me that, I'm like, when are we going? You know?
So you were more excited.
I was way more
to let him
excited.
do his thing.
Right. So he tells me we're going back to the studio. We booked the studio session, and within that week, you know, we're in the studio working on Love in Spanish one more time, and we were just listening to Love in Spanish on the way here, and we were like what a project! Like, literally, not just because it's my project. It took so much work to get Love in Spanish done, and then, you know, to go back to Love in Spanish with John and him enhancing it. Like, you can hear the passion and those drums when you hear Love in Spanish. You know, it's a beautiful combination of digital and live drums.
It's
you know,
way different.
Yeah, it's
Even live
different.
performances and everything.
way
It's
different.
just levels.
Way
on that.
different. Way different.
Man, it sounds. You can feel it. Like you said, the
Mhm.
emotion behind it. You can feel.
You can feel that.
Like that instrument. When Jimi Hendrix played the guitar, you can hear the guitar.
Mhm.
Like it was singing.
Mhm. I was just looking at Queen's perform last night.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was like just a video of him, but, you know, performing and doing live instrumentations. You know, I was introduced to that by John. I'm a producer. I'm a digital producer. You know, I can
Mhm.
play a few instruments, but my strength is in that software. But like I said, to have him, you know, hop on that project, and really not only hop on that project. Without John, there wouldn't be no Love in Spanish sound. The actual sound of Love in Spanish,
Yeah.
he helped me construct that. You know, and Love in Spanish too. It, you know, since me and him are starting it together, you guys are gonna see an even bigger fusion of live instrumentation with my digital you know, workstation that I use, and every knowledge that I have, including his live instrumentation technique, is gonna be a whole different approach to music recording. And
Nice.
it's gonna be a really nice put together project, not just because it's my project. I'm excited to record this project
Yeah.
because of the process that it takes to record something like this. You know, it doesn't just happen, going to the studio, pick a beat from YouTube and calling it a record. It don't work like that with me, at least, you know. Take it from scratch, deeply, deeply going deeply into not only the composing of the records, but in the structure of the songs, when things are gonna go. What bar am I gonna say here, and why am I gonna say that? And you know, just deeper. Like, the deeper you think about a record, and the deeper sometimes it comes easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just what it is. But if you come prepared to a studio session to even go that deep into thought, trust me, man, you come out with something really nice.
So I don't know if you've been talking about it on different podcasts, but breaking news, Love in Spanish 2 is...
Love in Spanish 2 is on the way, guys. We are working on that right now. If you haven't checked out Love in Spanish 1, I really encourage you to go check out Love in Spanish 1. Trust me, you won't regret it. It doesn't matter what language you speak. Right now, I'm tapping into French. And so a lot of my upcoming records are going to be trilingual.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a really beautiful fusion of languages and cultures and whatnot. But if you haven't checked out Love in Spanish 1, or just Love in Spanish on all platforms, Alexsoy.
Oui, como dicen los French.
Oui.
Okay, so now that you're working on it, do you have like a date that you're almost done with it?
Actually, not really. Right now we're working on a lot of records. It's gonna be, not a long process. I don't want it to be a long process, but we're not gonna rush on it. And there's a lot more that's gonna go into this, right? Like right now, what I'm trying to do is, we're just talking about it right now. I'm trying to get a high school or a college involved, their orchestra, to get involved in this production. If I can pitch, to a high school to make it a project, a school project for them to go to a huge studio and record, one of the records, why not do that, So that's like something that I'm really looking into. So it's going to take time to get, this plan together. But,
okay, one more time to the camera. Vinny's high schools, musical schools, let them know.
If any high schools, college, any musician out there has a band and you would like to be part of not only this huge record or this huge composition of work, Love in Spanish 2, not only is it going to come with obviously working in big studios with us, but breaking it down to you guys, I'm performing at the House of Blues in September 21st, John? September 21st. We will be performing in October 21st. We'll be performing at the House of Blues, Houston, and it's going to be the first show of many to come from that show. So what we want to do is we want to put a big live band together, big orchestra, whatever it is that you have that's musically inclined, please reach out to me. Alexsoy aquí presente, Alexsoy Music on all platforms. And let's make it bigger than what it is. It's all about putting the community together. I like to believe that, if you could just be the connection between people, you can put yourself in a great position.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Schools, reach out. And it'll be a great experience for your whatever year you are graduating to have that type of project. It'll be amazing. Okay, let's talk about the things that you came here to, because you're doing a tour,
right?
La Culpa tour.
Yes.
And you have Cuban Diva on that song. It's actually her song,
right?
But you were featured on the song.
How
was it that you find her? I know y'all met in Houston. Y'all were in the studio.
Yes, sir.
So y'all got connected. But where did you hear the song? I know you're on IG. You hear things sometimes. You're like, hey, let me master it. But how did that come?
So that came about. I was promoted Love in Spanish 1, right? My project was actually about to be coming out within 1 week. The first time I ever met Cuban Diva, I met her through Ghetto. He's one of the hosts at the Hip Hop Live review.
Yes,
Hip Hop Live show review, and he heard one of my songs. He heard Cali, where I talk about females and OnlyFans, and it's like a spicy little cool song, right?
Spicy song.
So he heard that and he was like, man, like come to the show. And so I met Cuban Diva at the show. We vibed, it was a great vibe. They actually took me and my producer Santana out to get like tacos that night, her and Anthony. And so they showed me the record, and it's a great record, and I'm like, that's my vibe, that's exactly what I do. So they actually planned everything together. We went to Mission Control Studios and recorded our verses, and then we went to Bruce. Shout out to I mix Bruce Bang. So on Instagram, shout out to him. He mixed down the record perfectly. It wasn't my record, so I didn't have the opportunity to necessarily work on it. It's Cuban's record, and honestly, she knows exactly what she's doing. Yeah. She knows how to get these records out. So I gave her full control of my vocals, which is I never do that.
How do you feel to let go?
It was great, man.
Because you knew that she's
gonna take care of. She's gonna take care of it. Bruce, man, is a great audio engineer. And so it was great. On top of that, it takes a little bit of weight on my shoulders sometimes, working on mixing everything sometimes can get overwhelming, so sometimes a good record that I could just let somebody else that has expertise on it mix it. Good, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how that record came together, and that's such a good record, man. It's a lovely record. I really am.
Carlos, if you could plug in a little bit of the video or part of
Yes.
it whenever we get to it, because
Mhm.
it's a lovely. The video itself was a
Thank you.
challenge because
Yes.
you had something prearranged,
Right.
something fell through,
Yes,
it
sir.
wasn't able to happen, but you had to, find another
Man,
videographer.
man, you've been
So
doing your homework for
so-
real.
Telling you, man, I don't play with this.
No, yes, so I love
So
that.
you finished the
Mhm.
record. Yeah, she flew over there.
Yeah,
Videographer fell off.
Yeah.
And then you had to come
yeah,
and
no,
make it
so-
happen.
Yeah, no. So shout out to KJ Creates because he came through. When it happens, it would have been surprising that everything was smooth. Actually, yeah, no, that's what would have been
Right.
surprising.
You know about lovely thing about Latinos, or at least Mexicanos,
Mhm.
Latinos in
Yeah.
general, we find a way.
Oh, we're gonna find a way
We
to
find
get it
a
done.
way.
Yeah, absolutely.
One videographer cancels,
I
find another one.
I just start hitting up everybody. I'm pitching. One thing that I can do is I can pitch it.
and
I'm
then
gonna
the end product,
Yeah, so and sometimes it works best like that, because it's spontaneous. It's like, so I shout out everybody that worked on that video. KJ Creates, he came through, delivered, gave me extra content to post. He believes in the record himself, obviously, so gave me extra content to post. Not a lot of people are gonna do the extra work, but I'm a believer. If you're not willing to do the extra work, you're never gonna get paid extra for what you do.
El pilón, we call it in Mexico. Whenever
Uh-huh.
you go buy something, a kilo of something, they give you a little extra. Just a
Right,
little something.
exactamente.
Just a little extra. You will be likely to go
Mhm.
back to them. Like,
That's
oh, yeah,
right.
let me get some of
That's
that because
right.
I know you're going to take care of me.
It's all about putting a little bit of extra effort.
But it's crazy because the video itself is lovely. I liked
you.
it.
Thank
But
you.
the crazy thing that you and Cuban Diva were like, y'all were even in sync because even the alphas were just like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Everything's lining
Yeah,
up.
no, it was a great, just everything came together perfectly. And you know what's crazy about that? Like, she brought a bunch of clothes. Obviously, she wanted to be ready. But when we saw each other, like she was, changing and all that, and we're like, wow, okay, perfect. It wasn't even planned like that.
Yeah.
So it was great, man. Working with Cuban Diva, one thing about it, it's great because she's gonna get the job done. To be honest, I like working with female artists because they get the job done, man. They get the job done. They really know what they're doing in the sense of taking things serious. So working with Cuban Diva was great, man. I
That's
really,
amazing.
I really enjoy that.
We have the light out, so don't worry if you see it dimmer down. It's getting darker here, so good. So, but even out of that, I started doing more content, creating even a podcast episode, and I even have about 3 or 4 records done.
Yes,
and other ones that are
that's
coming
right.
soon.
That's right. Yeah. So Cuban Diva got there, put her straight to work. Put her straight to work. Every minute we had, I was, we were working on a record. I have projects all over. I could just open up a project and say, all right, come on, hop on this one. And so that's what I did. I had a couple of records that I had worked that week, and there were records that are similar to La Culpa.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, come on, Cuban. I already have, verses written and all that good stuff. So it was just, and she really came ready. She came prepared. It was great sessions, man. It was like back to back. We knocked out one record perfect. We got things done. I loaded up another one, knocked it out. You can record and then mix it down later. It's just about.
She's not shy to telling you she wasn't feeling it. Like, nah.
Right. Oh no. Yeah.
But
no.
she knows what she's doing, though.
She know what she's doing, and she know what she's doing, and on top of that, I know what to bring. I when I see an artist and I study an artist, I know what to bring them.
Mhm.
So that they can feel comfortable with the record. I'll send a pack out when I send beats or I send records. I'm gonna really cater to you as an artist. Right now, I'm working on a project for somebody, and that's what I do. Like I listen to the artist and I can cater to their sound.
You see what you do is the same thing I do here. That I make you feel like
Yes.
No,
No,
you gotta
that-
make the person feel like they
Absolutely.
belong here. They're here, and they're important.
You cater to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's important, man. It's
It
important.
is very
Yes,
much
sir.
so, and you do the same process I'll be doing with
Absolutely.
whatever you're doing.
Yes, sir.
So that's great.
Yes, sir.
Amazing. So, Love in Spanish too is
Mhm.
coming. Is that I know you're working on all the kinds of other songs. Right now, you're pushing La Culpa
Yes.
strongly. You even got a website that's designated to the song, which
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of people don't do.
Right.
But what else do you have going on?
Yeah. So since Love in Spanish too, it's a project that we're working on right now, but it's not gonna be just out right now. I've got a lot of records coming out right now, which I actually want to give a huge shout out to Texas Digital
Mm-hmm.
because I haven't even said this either. I actually landed a good feature with White Tia Maya.
Oh, we had her here on the podcast, YT.
I want to play the record for you. Actually,
Yeah.
it's a crazy good record.
Yeah.
French on it, Spanish and English. and she went out of her way and spoke French on it as well. When I say
She's so super talented, bro.
Man, I heard her voice and I was like, I saw her. I never met Waka or Mr. Joe. I just followed Texas Digital at one point. I'm looking through artists and I'm like, man, I got this record. It just needs a female voice. I got this record. John produced the drums on the record, actually.
She got an angelic voice for such a young, talented lady.
Man, when you hear this song, bro, it's lovely.
You want to play it right now?
You want me to play it?
I mean, if you can play a little snippet.
Absolutely. Let me see. John, can I see my phone?
Okay, so we're getting the phone because he's going to play just a little bit, see if we can get a good sound of it. Yeah, because it's not even released. I want to take care of it still. I don't want to.
Right. And here, what I'll do is I'll just very exclusive. What I'm going to do is I'll play a part.
Just a small part. Just I want to protect the steal the song.
No, absolutely. And we'll play a little bit of her part because she really went out of her way to write a beautiful verse for this, man.
Yeah, big shout out going out to all of them, the whole camp, Texas Digital, C. Walker, because I'm telling you, I've worked with the people. C. Walker is the one that mixed and mastered one of the songs that I wanted to put out. So he was one of the ones that did two songs, actually.
Small world.
I'm telling you, bro.
Small world. I love
that. Not that I'm well connected, is that I know quite a bit of people that I work with because I believe in their work too.
Right. No, that is well connected.
I had YT on a show.
Really?
And I had told the individual that was booking the acts, I'm like, she's cold. And we had her at a smaller event for us that we did.
Yeah.
Which we call it Latinas Concert. I forget. It's so long over the name. But anyways, we had her perform there.
And you guys were like, wow.
Like, man, she has to be there.
No, yeah, man. She has an incredible voice. I had a lot of fun mixing her vocals. Like, just working on her vocals was great just in general, So here's a little bit of a...
little bit
Let me see what part we're on right now. Woo! Let me put a little bit of...
Really good. Shout out going out to YT. Put it close to the mic. See if we can get a good one. There we go. Alexsoy featuring YT Amaya from Waco, Texas, coming very, very soon. And she's singing in French. This is crazy. She's so talented. You're so talented too, bro. Okay, that's enough. We want to protect the song. But she she has a record with Charlie Boy that I think is already out or is about to be out.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, so I was able to get that feature from her.
I got another perfect female for you, but I'll let you know after the podcast.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
I don't want to know. I don't know if it's happened, but I can see y'all creative magic.
Oh, I would love that.
I would
love that, yes, sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Coffee with YT Amaya and Alexsoy. Stay tuned for that. Coming out soon.
It's called Coffee?
It's Coffee. It's actually a song about, the hook says, you're like the first sip of coffee. For my coffee lovers, I made one for y'all. I got y'all.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Right?
All right. We're running short on time, bro. Yep. I know we talked about a lot of different things. Yep. I mean, we couldn't wrap it up in this small hour and some change because you have so many things going on.
Absolutely.
Real quickly, one more time, all your social medias, any events you have going on. I know you have the House of Blue, which might be after the fact, after we release the episode, but still, any other concerts, tours that you have going on, let us know.
So guys, listen, Alexsoy aquí presente. You can find me on all social medias at Alexsoy Music on YouTube, anywhere. Matter of fact, just Google me. La Culpa is out right now. A great record with Cuban Diva and myself. If you haven't checked out Love in Spanish 1, check that out as well. You can look it up in all platforms. I have a huge announcement to make. Me and my live band, My Music, and Alexsoy will be performing at the House of Blues October 21st. So stay on the lookout for that. It's going to be a great show. We want to give you an experience, which is what we were talking about earlier. This is all about you guys. This is all about you guys coming in and enjoying the night. So stay on the lookout for that. Alexsoy aquí presente. Thank you so much for having me, guys. Seriously.
Absolutely. We got a couple more questions before we let you go. We're going to get real deep.
Yes, sir.
Shout outs, first of all. Any shout outs that you have to anybody?
Absolutely.
You, fans,
absolutely. First of all, I want to shout out to my family and friends just off the bat. I love you guys, and we wouldn't be here without you guys for everything, the support. I want to give a huge shout out to John, my drummer and my live band coordinator. I want to give a huge shout out to Santana and Frankie AR, which are the producers that helped me build the sound that I have now. A huge shout out to Cuban Diva Hip Hop Live Review Show, to Country, and to Mission Control, and also to Bruce for mixing down La Culpa. It's an amazing record. Thank you to you guys for tuning in tonight. And again, much love, Alexsoy aquí presente.
Awesome. One very, very important lesson that you learn in the music business that you would tell your younger self that will help somebody else out.
Yeah. Be ready to make business. Be ready to make business whenever you go into situations, and don't ever be scared to pull out that paperwork and get some signatures when you go to studios. It's your money.
Protect your money.
Mm-hmm.
And when I wake up or throughout the day, I say something along those lines that I heard from a guru from India. But those certain words, just waiting to hear those words to make you realize different things. So when I wake up, I usually say something like, "I'm not immortal. I am mortal, and I will die one day." That's not to scare me. That's just to realize that we are not here forever. And it makes me realize that I need to hurry up and do things and get me moving. With that, after I wish you a long, prosperous life. However, when everything's said and done, what do you want people to think or feel about your life?
That you really can do exactly what you picture and you're destined yourself to do. Just truly believe in yourself. If I can leave anything on this earth, I just wanna be known for somebody that tried really, really hard to fulfill his dream and his passion. Pick something that you wanna be good at and just obsess over it. Don't let people call you crazy. Don't worry about people calling you crazy, calling you all sorts of names. Pick something that you want and try to become an expert at that. And that's what I would say. I have a quote that I say just how you say, "Quiero, puedo y lo hago," which I learned from my grandma, which is mean you can, I will, and it's gonna get done. Like you just get things done. That's it.
Yeah, I would say for you would be more like, I guess it's your answer, but I would feel like you're not a trier, you're a doer. You've been doing, you executing, you're doing the thing. You know what I mean? I think people, if anybody was to see, if I was looking from the outside, I would be like, man, he's doing. He's been doing. That.
Wow.
So, you know what I mean?
Thank you. Yes,
so
sir.
That trying, for me, the word itself.
Yeah.
To change your answer. But
No,
you're
word
right. With no direction, to me, I never liked
Matter of fact, don't even try. He's completely right. Just do. Just wake up and do it.
But it's just an observation from the outside.
No, yeah.
You've been doing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
You keep executing, exercising, perfecting, and you've been doing for forever and a day.
Thank you.
So I think people, whenever they look, it will be like, man, he was really doing this stuff and executing.
I appreciate those words, really.
And this is the Global Latin Factor. I thoroughly enjoy talking to every Latino walk of life. However we get connected, whether I DM, where you DM, at the end of the day, we're just here.
Yes, sir.
And being an immigrant from Venezuela, coming to another country, Mexico, to coming to the U.S. and just exploring here.
Yes, sir.
We just literally just walk like different from other people here in the United States. They're accustomed to something, right? Because we have to deal with this, we have to deal with that. But at the end of the day, we always figure a way to get it done. Yes. And it's amazing to me. With your music being all over the place, all over the world, I wouldn't doubt it whatsoever that you're reaching the masses, not only here in the States, in Mexico, but wherever else you are, Venezuela.
Thank you, boss.
And with that, you're definitely, Alexsoy, you're a global Latin factor. Thank you very much for being here, sir. I appreciate it very much.
It was much appreciated. Thank you, guys.
This was another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Remember to subscribe. We're 1,000 subscribers, and it's all thanks to you very much. Thank you very much. If you are enjoying the content, if you are supporting the content, if you want to be part of the Latino community, this is your opportunity. Go tell somebody to tell that tia that always tells everybody the business. You already know what it is. And remember, we are just like you. We are human. We are the spice in this melting pot that it is the world. Till next time. Peace. Thank you very much for checking out another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channel. You are very important, and it means a lot to us whenever you go and subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notifications whenever we have new episodes. It really does truly mean a lot to us. Thank you very much.
Del Avigo, walks like a pero but in fact is a flamingo. Coming to Havana and reach from Puerto Rico. On a pirate ship, you don't know where do we go. The birds of the jungle chasing fortune and fame, but Juan